Hey everybody, it's Pastor John with your midweek moment for this week. And this week I want to talk to you about another book. It is actually the book that we will be discussing at book group a bit later on today. It's a book called The Faith Club, and it is written by, and I want to look up the authors' names to make sure I get them right. It is written by Ranya Idliby, Suzanne Oliver, and Priscilla Warner. And what makes this an interesting book is that these three women, Ranya, Priscilla, and Suzanne, are three women who come from completely different faith backgrounds. Ranya is a Muslim, Suzanne is a Christian, she's an Episcopalian, and Priscilla is a Jew. And they get together and form something they call the Faith Club to learn and to share about each other's faith. And yet, for our purposes right now, you don't need to know what brings them together. You can read about it in the book if you want to. But what I found so interesting about this book is that it's a wonderful example of how to deal with an issue that it is an important issue in our country now, and I think is only going to be a more important issue as time goes by. And that issue is, how do people who are committed to their faith deal constructively and openly with people who are equally committed to other faiths? Because like I said, as Ranya and Suzanne and Priscilla spend their time together and learn more about each other, about each other's faiths, they don't take the easy way out. The easy way out, I suppose, when you're dealing with people of other faiths is to say, well, all faiths lead equally to God, and to leave it like that. The only problem with that is that all three of the faith backgrounds that these women come from, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, teach the exact opposite thing. They all teach that there is, in fact, only one route to God, and that their religion is the way that you do that. And so, if you're not going to gut your religion of its content by saying that all religions lead equally to God, how do you deal constructively if you're a Christian? How do you deal openly, and how do you deal, constructively with folks who are Jews, folks who are Muslims, or the Baha'i, or Hindus or Buddhists, or whatever the case may be? How do you hold on to your faith while still respecting and being open to learning about the faiths of others? And if you read the book, you will learn that's not an easy trick. There's actually a time very early on in this process for these three women where the whole thing almost blows up. It's probably not surprising that the thing that it almost blows up over is the crucifixion. But they stick to it, and they remain dedicated to it, and they get to the point where not only does each woman gain a much greater and deeper appreciation of the other two women's faith, but they also, and this is an interesting part, they also become more devoted to their own faith. Ranya becomes a better Muslim as a result of learning more about Judaism and Christianity. Priscilla, who is sort of a lukewarm Reform Jew when this started, becomes a better Jew as a result of learning about Islam and Christianity. So it's not so much that they sort of give up on their faith to get along with each other. They actually become better Christians, better Jews, and better Muslims, while at the same time gaining a deeper appreciation for other people's faiths. It's not an easy trick, but it's a trick that Ranya, Priscilla, and Suzanne pull off. And as you might imagine, in a story like this, it's also a great book because it's just a terrific human story. All three of these women they're very bright, they're very accomplished, they're very able people. And it's the story, I suppose, of how these three women grow to become friends, and how they grow to become sort of companions along the way. So in addition to being sort of a great religious story, it's a great human story as well. So anyway, there's your book recommendation for this week if you were looking for one. And if you're not looking for one, well, it's your book recommendation anyway. And that book is The Faith Club by Suzanne Idliby, Priscilla Warner, and Suzanne Oliver. Came out in 2006. I I got my issue on Kindle. You can get it on Kindle from Amazon, or you can find it wherever books are sold. So thanks.